Right.
Okay. So introduce yourself, please.
Hey there, I'm Rob. I work for Foltz Trucking. We are a hopper bottom company out of Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. And I've known Kiersey for, gosh, a little while now. We met on a website that, well, it was a forum, had all kinds of really good tips for new drivers and current drivers and everything else. But she asked me if I would go ahead and sit down and do an interview and answer a few questions that she might have, just in case anybody wanted to maybe jump in the hopper bottom game or wanted to learn more about it. So here we are.
How long have you been driving?
Since 2014.
And you did heavy haul before.
I did. I've done heavy haul, I've done pneumatic tankers, short time doing dry van and reefers, and now for the last 5 years pulling a hopper.
So is hopper your favorite division?
Tough call. I really liked heavy haul. I didn't like being gone all the time and never knowing where you were going to be or how long you might be there. So it wasn't as fun. I do really enjoy this though. I think it's because I like the company that I'm with, the environment of it, and then a lot of the customers too. We go to a lot of the same places, but the people are generally really nice. There's a few spots you go to that you're just like, okay, somebody's probably going to be a little cranky, but other than that, no, it's a pretty good time.
So what's the hardest thing about driving a hopper?
Driving it is not that difficult. Now, we do go off-road quite a bit because we do a lot of dairy farms and places that are out off the pavement. Generally not too hard to get around during the summer months or even in the spring and in the fall. But, if you're up in northern part of North Dakota in February and you're trying to find a farm, first thing you have to find is the road. So that's probably one of the biggest challenges that you run into is just the weather and dealing with that, and then the positions that you can wind up in. So you got to pay attention, figure out where you're going, make sure you don't screw anything up. That's probably the hardest part of it.
How physical is it to do like the loading and unloading and all that good stuff?
Loading, not very much. 95% of the time, someone else is loading us. The only thing you really have to do is maybe reposition the truck to get, from the front hopper to the rear hopper, and then move that pile inside so you don't overload the trailer. There's a few places that we do go that we load ourselves, and it's really not so bad. It takes, depending on what the product is and how it's coming out, 25 to 30 minutes to maybe 90 minutes at the most. Unloading is where it gets difficult. You do have some products that just do not like to come out of the trailer. But you have other devices that you can use that help manipulate it a little bit, and then hopefully you might be able to find somebody that can give you a hand doing it. So it works out. It's not bad. You just have to know that it can happen, and not everything is corn that's going in the trailer that takes 15 minutes to come out, and you leave and go on to the next stop. You could be there 6, 8, 9 hours trying to get a load out of the trailer, and it's got to go. So you're going to put in some work. You're going to get dirty. You're going to get frustrated. But all in all, it's worth it. It's also good exercise, so I don't complain about that.
So what's the hardest thing about being over the road?
Hanging out with people. Never really being at home. That gets a little frustrating. But do get to see the whole country. Get to go to a lot of neat places, get to meet a lot of nice people, get to meet people and then go hang out with them, take a weekend off or whatever, take a 34, hang out for an evening, whatever. And then, so that's always a perk, you don't just have to know the people right there in your local community. You can have friends across the country and you can go hang out with them and have a good time and just keep on going.
What's your favorite part of the country?
Southwest, probably. Love Arizona. But then again, I think my favorite state is Utah. It's without a doubt probably the most beautiful state in my mind, just because of the mountains and because of the red rocks around Moab and everything else. And, 1 minute you can be in 90-degree heat and you can change elevation and you're up in the clouds and the snow and everything else. I mean, I know you can do that in California and stuff like that too, but there's just something different about Utah.
So what's your favorite truck and what kind of trucks did you drive?
I've driven W9, 389 Pete. I've driven International Lone Star. I've driven Volvos. I don't know that I really have a favorite. I think there's benefits of both of them. You know, anybody that's just in it. If you want the old school looks, you go with the old hood trucks and stuff like that. Yeah, they're nice. They do ride really smooth. There's no question about that. But for a lot of the places that we go that have really tight turning areas to get in and out of, because you're coming off of a single lane road onto a single lane road, and you're trying not to wind up in a ditch, it's kind of hard to beat the Volvo because the steering angle on those things is ridiculous. But
So what about automatic versus manual? Which do you prefer?
don't care. Driven manuals, started out on a manual. I'm not going to be the guy that says, oh, I started on a double stick with a switch on the dash of an old B model Mac. Don't care. I am perfectly fine with my auto shift. Because once the first time that you get stuck in really good traffic and it's just stop and go, the frustration of having to consistently do that over and over and over again, no, I'll keep my auto shift. I'm fine with it.
Thanks, guys, for watching Trucking Along with Kiersey. That's me, your positive face in trucking. And for the next few videos, I'm going to be posting videos of Rob doing more interviews about heavy haul, driving in the oil fields, owning a truck, and more of his experiences. We'll talk a little bit about some of these non-domicile drivers and just, you know, trucking in general. So the website he had talked about was truckingtruth.com, which is where we met, and a lot of us you know, have used as resource over the years. Now, if you go on Discourse, not Discord, but Discourse, there is the Driving Truth. So a bunch of us veterans from truckingtruth.com have headed over there so that you can continue to seek information, advice, or just chit chat with some of us. You know, a lot of newbies always had some questions, and it's great to get different people's perspectives. So I hope to see you over there. I'll put the link down below. And please stay safe. Have a good holiday if I don't get to talk to you. And I hope to see you out here trucking along. Bye.